Hey guys, T-Buller. Today I got another look at Tier 4 Soviet destroyer Okhotnik. We do have Gurren on the screen. Madden, Burke, we're obviously focused on the guns on the build. In my early impressions video of the ship, I kind of described how I think the ship should be played, i.e. focused on the guns, kind of medium long range, gunboatery type of play. And then I proceeded to the game had two full dev strike nuke shots on unaware battleships with the torps, which kind of doubled the damage that I think you're usually going to be seeing on the ship. 50,000, 60,000 damage in this if you're just playing with the guns. I think those are pretty good scores. Can't remember exactly what this one comes out to be in, but we do get quite a lot of juicy shots, as you'll see here. So if you're still on the fence, if you haven't decided if you want the ship or not, or if you do have the ship and you're finding it to be difficult, this is more of how I would recommend playing the ship. Build-wise, I got Burke and Madden. Madden helps with the slow turret traverse, slow reload. Burke helps with the aim at long, medium long range shots, trying to get as many of those shots on target. And of course, Gurren's base trait helps the AP pen. And then he has a level 3 perk on the right hand side of the commander build that also enhances the AP pen. You'll see the combination of those skills in play in this game. We're going to be pumping up a lot of citadels in this one. Moving forward here, they've changed this map obviously a couple updates ago. So there's no real objectives in the center here. This is a little risky play, but due to the fact that there's no objectives drawing ships in here, I feel like I could probably get away with this here. Emeralds pops up right away. We didn't have AP loaded yet, so I tried to switch that shell. Couldn't get him on target before he disappeared behind the island. Marblehead comes around though, and he's also sailing pretty broadside. At Tier 4, you're going to see a lot of broadside cruisers. Why that is, I don't know. Doesn't really matter. Now this Marblehead, you'll see he does a good job of playing with the throttle, throwing it back and forth. Makes it harder to hit the shots. I don't know if I necessarily like the position to be doing that ship. He still is sitting out in the open broadside. But nevertheless, he drops spots since we're in the cloud. We do have this other cruiser there, though. And then the Marblehead pops back up. You can see the turret traverse here. It takes a long time to get these guns on target. And this is one of the reasons you're going to want to keep this ship at range. If you're close range against other destroyers, like a USN destroyer, for instance, with really good turret traverse, going to be a bit of an issue. But here you can see 4 Citadel salvo that takes about half his health off. And that's not an uncommon thing with this ship. We get 2 more there, and the guy's in serious trouble right off the bat. And you do have to respect these guns. 7 guns, and they're high caliber guns for the tier 130s. So they are capable of putting out the damage. And with the Gurren build promoting or focusing on that AP performance, we're able to get these juicy shots throughout the game. Kind of an odd deployment in this game. You can see most of our team went east. We do have pretty good control of the center as well, though, whereas most of their team looks like they're on the western side of the map, with really nothing available to shoot at or to do over there except for capture that objective. So I don't like conceding large swatches of the map like this. I don't think it's a good strategy, but of course, low tier games, is there a strategy? I don't know, probably not. Phoenix pops back up though, and we're going to be able to start firing shots into him as well. And these are full range shots. The AP on destroyers at full range usually isn't going to be that effective, but we're able to get these shots on target. Accuracy is pretty dang good. Low kind of flat trajectory shots that come in, they hit the target pretty quick. So these guns are pretty effective in terms of getting the shells on target, assuming that your aim's true. Phoenix does turn in here now, so we switch to the HE. And you do want to be active on these. You're going to be pretty ineffective against angled cruisers with the AP. But the HE shells are pretty effective as well. And we're able to help finish this Phoenix off here. We get a fire, that's a kill shot. Someone else wants to finish him off. Not a big deal. That guy was going to die either way. Emerald's coming back now. Once they've determined that they could capture A with 8 ships, then they're coming back to kind of defend their home spawn, which we're now able to put pressure on. Now, one of the highlights of the Gurren build that I employ here is that perk 4 slot that has the incoming dispersion boost. And then again, points to long range play. You know, you'll see some of these shots. A lot of those shots are missing. Can the guy aim or not? We don't know. But even if those are aimed properly, by increasing the dispersion, that might cause those shells to veer off course. So the closer you are to the ships, you know, the more that distance is going to override that perk that's trying to help you. But at range, they're going to have increasing difficulty getting those shells on your target. And Emerald, again, we're going to be able to just rip them to shreds with these AP salvos into the side. Not an issue for these ships. And pretty much all the cruisers at tier 4. Oh, all right. Pretty much all the cruisers at tier 4 are lightly armored. That's a great example of why you don't want to run into people. Obviously, that pissed me off initially, but cost him his life, so thanks for the save there, bud. Anyway. Game's tied in terms of ship count, but of course we do have the 1 cap advantage currently. Emerald was angled just enough that we raised that shot up a little bit, but now that he's flattening out again, we're going to go proceed to shoot the water line again, and that's going to finish him off. Marblehead's employing the same strategy. He's just kind of sitting there broadside, relying on going back and forth, trying to dodge the shells, but experienced players that can kind of read how the ship's moving. Of course, we could activate the torps as well and see which way that indicator's pointing to get a good indication of the heading of that ship as well. You know, it's an effective move, but it's more effective at long range. Just kind of sitting there out in the open. Don't have any problem dealing with that ship. T-22 pops up. We did have AP loaded. I usually like to fire the shells that are loaded, discharge the round, and then switch over. Just, you might as well get some damage, but of course, even destroyer guns, we're going to overpen other destroyers, especially at that range. And you can see here in a matter of, what, a minute and a half, whatever it was, we've gone from tied to absolutely crushing them. And that's basically due to the map position in large part, because they were all trying to emanate out of this A point, whereas we had control of the entirety of the rest of the map. So they don't really have any way to get out of A without having a bunch of ships shooting at them from any and all angles. So map control, huge part of this game. You want to control as much of the map. Bunching up into a singularity like that is just not going to work, and it basically cost them the game. So we're going to go down here with the shot from the T-22, but our job is done. And that, to me, is more typical of what you should be, trying to be doing with the ship and the results that you should be expecting to see. Gun's very effective. Kind of play it like a mobile, light cruiser, primarily trying to be dodging shots, shooting a more at long range. The HE is good if you have angled targets or if you're shooting at battleships. Those are effective shells. But if you're getting broadside cruisers like you saw there, 15 citadels, it's a high citadel count, of course, but it's not unheard of with a build that we have here and a ship like this. So Russian destroyers, whenever they're going to show up, we don't know. Maybe that'll be the next line. I'm kind of personally predicting Soviets, but I don't think that they've really given any hints that I've seen. So we'll see what happens coming down the pike here. But I think once these ships drop, they should be unique and fun, and that's kind of how I expect them to be played. So that's going to do it for that one, guys. Hope you did enjoy it. If you did, please hit the thumbs up. New to the channel, consider subscribing. A lot of World of Warships coming all the time. Questions, comments, leave them below, and we'll see y'all later. All right, peace.